Now, let's say you have a very big website with a lot of pages. So let's say there's an about page, there's a portfolio page, there's sub-portfolio, there's projects, there's so much going on. What should you do? You should organize your pages inside folders. So let's say over here, you're going to create a folder and say, let's say projects. Let's say you want to display projects of yours to different people, right? So inside projects, I'm just going to create a folder and you have multiple pages for these projects. So let's say projects website project, or let's say client a.html for client A information, client b.html for a different client, and so forth, right? And I'm just going to create a copy of these over here. So we have these pages populated. So I'm going to say client A and do the same thing for client B. Actually, this was client B over here. All right, so you have these multiple pages, all right? We have created that, but we want to link to that particular page. So let's say from the home page. So I'm going to go to the home page, and what do we do to link it to pages which are inside a folder, all right? So over here, I'm going to simply put in client A and client B. And now I'm just going to put in client A.html and client B.html. Let's see what happens. Refresh, I click over here and it says file was not found. And the reason for that is that when you are linking files or pages, you want to mention the location of that particular file relative to the page you're on. Now, what does that mean? That means is that this page, this index.html page, is inside this first page folder, right? Now, if you want to link from here to the projects folder and inside client A file, you want to mention that from here, from this index page, go to the project folder / inside that client A.html, like such. So we're going to do the same thing with here. And now let's see if it works. Now if I click over here, oops, it did not work because I am missing the S over here. It should be projects, not project. S and S, so basically projects, and inside projects client A.html. Save, refresh, I'm going to go back, and now I'm going to refresh one more time. When I click over here, it's going to go to the client A page, which it went, and it seems like client A is empty. Actually, I didn't save it. All right, I just saved it now. Refresh, and you see client A shows up. Go back, client B shows up. Go back, client A shows up. So that's one particular thing. Now, the next thing that I want to tell you is if from client A, which is a sub page, you want to go up a level and go back to home, how do you do that? And this page, this old link is not going to work because it actually says go to index. So from this page, which is client B, relative from this, you want to go up one folder to this folder, and inside there's index. So if you want to go up one folder, you always do ... and then /. So that tells you, okay, wherever you are from, which is client B, not in this folder, but up one folder. So if I just show you the folder structure inside, let's say our application. This is our folder. I'm just going to open it over here. Projects, not in this folder. Go up one folder and then look for index.html. All right. So for that, you put ... and then /. All right. So if I save and I do the same thing in client A as well, because it's inside a subfolder, I go over here, oops, refresh, and now if I click over here, it's actually going to go up one folder to the right location of index.html. So that's how you link via the A element. Now, the URLs which are relative to a particular location are called relative paths, because this is a path. The links which are directly going to a particular location, like this particular URL, this is not relative. These are called absolute paths because they have the absolute location. This is an absolute location to a URL. So let's say if you want to link to, let's say, iLoveCoding, and to a, let's say, a sub page, let's say slash about or slash pages slash about, and we don't have a www. This is a absolute path because this has the absolute location where you want to go. It's not a relative location. These are relative locations. Now the browser is smart enough to understand that these are relative and these are absolute because it knows it starts with HTTP or HTTPS. All right, so that's pretty much it for this video. I'm going to talk to you in the next.